Thompson here with Simon Says Stamp. Today I'm so excited to be playing around with the Hero Arts Park Scene. This is part of the STAMPtember celebration. It's an exclusive stamp it, which means once it's sold out, it's sold out. So with that being said, I am using the So Thankful You Are in My Life. Gonna use Simon Says Stamp clear embossing ink, the fine detail black powder, and a piece of cardstock. This is watercolor cardstock. And I'm trying to do a slimline card, not super long. So it's going to be 4¼ by 6½ inches. We're going to begin by stamping these sentiments from the Hero Arts Park Scene stamp set. And I am stamping these. I have them in different blocks because I wanted to be able to layer them. And it's kind of hard to see. So I'm using that watermark ink, and then I'm going to bring in my fine detail powder, and I'm going to put that detail powder all over, and then you'll see how it kind of pops up, removing that excess. And now I'm trying to move fairly quickly so my ink doesn't dry. And I am using watercolor cardstock, so there is texture to the cardstock, so it can be a little bit difficult to get this stamping. We're going to go ahead and heat set with our heat gun, and before I do that, I decided, oh shoot, I really need to stamp my little bench, and I'm gonna stamp the bench in the same black embossing powder because I don't want it to get lost within all my watercoloring going on. So there we go. We're gonna heat set it. We're gonna come back and begin our watercolor. So I have a piece of acetate, and actually it's the acetate that covers the back of the stamp. And I'm going to use my Zig Clean color markers. So these markers are watercolor markers, and let me show you how we're going to watercolor with them. The beauty about using watercolor markers is that it allows you to color directly onto your image on your paper, or you can use the medium, that watercolor, to add it to your cardstock. So I have 3 shades. I have a brown, a really light green, a bright neon green, and you can see I'm using a water brush, and the water brush already has water in it. You can use the old school, old-fashioned, classic brushes if you choose to. We're going to let that dry, and we're going to move on to stamping with our watercolor. So I have this dark brown. I put it on my acetate, and then I'm grabbing that stamp set from the park scene and stamping with it. Why am I doing this? Well, it's going to kind of disappear when I start adding that watercolor. However, it's going to give me a nice base to color the image. So as you can see, when I grab the watercolor, it's going to match what we just stamped. And don't be afraid to play around by using different colors. And I'm just adding layer after layer. And as you can see, I'm not using a tiny little brush. I'm using the same brush that we used for the grass that we created. So now I have an orangey of the Zig Clean color markers, and so we're repeating the process. I am stamping it. And why am I stamping it? Because I want to get those lines from the tree. We're going to add different shades of brown to the trees. And guys, I know there's a million amazing watercolor artists, right? Sandy Alnuk is one of them. And I love all she does, but I am not to her level. I am a card maker. I'm not an artist. So I was really trying to figure out, how can I watercolor these images, make it look really soft, a really nice card that looks pretty legit, pretty professional. And I thought, I'm going to use my Zig Clean color. So we're going to repeat the process of the stamping with that Zig Clean color marker, and I'm using that tree from the park scene. It has a lot of little bush-like elements to it, and so I'm coming in and very roughly adding that green, and I'm trying not to add too much water, because once you add more water to the green and that brown that's already on the branches, it's going to mix a little bit. I moved on to a smaller brush here, and I grabbed a really bright yellow, like a lime green yellow, and I'm just dabbing the color onto the tree. One of the biggest suggestions I can give you is that you let it dry as you layer. And see how I layered the green, and there's no rhyme or reason. I'm just adding little blobs, and it makes it look really cool. I'm going to grab that little brush that I mentioned earlier, and we have a brown, and we're going to color our park bench. And hindsight, I wish I would have not colored the interior of the park bench, kind of let that clear, and then I would have done my sky. But oh well, it worked out, and I actually did really like the way it looked, but I was thinking, I should have left it. So now you really got to think about your sky, your background. Be sure that your trees are completely dry and everything, there's no water on it. I'm going to grab this kind of peachy brownish color. I'm going to go back to that flat head brush and just coming in from left to right, just adding that color left to right. And so what it's going to do is going to create a really nice shadow look under the trees. And I'm really loving it. And so we didn't go with our traditional blue sky just because I wanted to create that fall looking park day. I thought it would be really fun to just keep the fall orientation. And there's so many elements in the park scene stamp set that you can use. There's like a bike guy, more trees so you can create a forest. And I'm sure that the Simon Says family will be making some amazing cards. But this is my take on it. This is a card maker's not artistic element of it. So I let this dry. I'm going to splatter some white Altenew pure white spray. And instead of spraying, I'm removing that back end. And then I'm doing just the splattering, and I'm gonna add some gold again to continue on with that fall theme. Really, really happy about this, and we're gonna let it dry. Then I wanted to do some black splatters. I don't have black paint or black spray. So what I'm doing is I grab my watercolor palette, added water to the black color, and then just splatter it on. And I thought, you know what, I'm gonna stop. I'm not gonna do a ton of it because I don't want it to be overpowering. I have some Amy Tangerine enamel dots, and these actually came in a Simon Says stamp card kit earlier this year. So I get to use those again, and I have my fall card ready to go. Guys, thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you liked this tutorial. We're watercoloring a fall scene using the Simon Says Stamps and Hero Arts collaboration for STAMPtember. Stay tuned. We got so many other videos, inspiration, and go grab your stamp set because it's limited time only. Thanks so much. Have an amazing day.